Hello, everyone. How are you? This video continues the previous DPS video and focuses on the role of support, healing. I may create a second video for the DPS, healer, and tank roles, as there is much information to cover. Anyway, let's talk about passives and skill trees of the healer role. In this image, you can see all the functional passives for a healer. There are no other passives that are useful for endgame content. They are helpful for their effects on all players in a team or team up. Unlike the DPS role, there are few thematic options for a healer. I will show some alternate powers for the role. There are some powers that all healers must have in their builds. I will mention those later. For now, I will talk about the specialization trees. Here, I have two of the best trees for healing, Sentry and Sentinel, with variations due to the differences in mastery. If your build synergizes, you can mostly do what you want. The difference between the Sentinel and Sentry masteries is that the Sentinel heals you and your team whenever an enemy is affected by your knocks, stuns, sleeps, and paralyzes abilities. The Sentry mastery grants a strong stun to enemies that attack you when you are at half health. You can also see how statistics are distributed differently in this image. I mention this as knowing how healers score and can score is essential. However, I will explain that there are healers capable of getting a top score. Many are unaware of this. Without mincing my words, you know how DPS needs critical and critical severity to be able to score. A healer needs bonus healing. The more bonus healing a healer has, the more it can heal. Bonus healing can be amplified in many ways, but the most common is to increase offense. I would not recommend this, but it makes a score healer. I do not recommend this as it makes a healer fragile, and a healer needs to survive to keep the team alive. This does not often happen with a healer built for the score. While it can create high numbers, it has a defense of paper. I only say this if you want a score healer. Good luck. As I mentioned in the DPS video, the strength of your powers depends on the strength of your form. However, I would recommend the recovery primary for a healer as it grants more bonus healing and is easier to exploit for different types of healing. Most healers use presence/dexterity/constitution, but a more potent healer would have recovery/presence/constitution. The presence has to be at 500 points, and the rest of the stats can be distributed in the constitution stat for extra survivability. A healer needs about 10k health. In some ways, a healer is similar to a baby tank, but instead of generating aggro and damage, it dishes out heals and takes damage. The best form for a healer is compassion, which is mandatory for all healers. Regarding this image, when I was making this video, I thought it would be easy, like the DPS one. However, I remembered one thing: there aren't many good powers for a healer to choose from. So, to be helpful, I compiled all the decent powers, some powers more so than others, to help you create a build to your liking. This way, you can still make a theme of your choosing if you choose to do so. For example, you could create a necromancer, doctor, or healing teddy bear. As long as you have these three powers in your build, there is room for an idea to flourish. The first power is iniquity, used at rank 3 to heal the tank. The next is bionic shielding, which can be used at rank 2 or 3, depending on if you want to save some points for something else. It is generally used on dodge tanks and your character, or any team member. And finally, Resurgence is a mandatory self-defense for all roles for its healing defense. The two main debuffs for a healer are Dependency and Illumination. Dependency is a small hot that can stack on enemies that heal allies near it. Illumination is an hot applied to enemies and players, giving a small bonus to the healing received. When applied to an enemy, the player that attacks the enemy gains its healing effect. While this compilation was not easy for me to create, I hope it is helpful for those who wish to learn to play and build a healer. Now, I will discuss primary and secondary gears. The choices for primary gears are somewhat varied. The pure healer's primary set is Virtuous, which significantly augments bonus healing at 3 gear pieces and some flat resistance to damage. I recommend this to you if you want to have a pure healer. Earlier, I mentioned about the score healer, the healer that uses recovery/presence/dexterity. Well, this healer doesn't have much health at around 6k. But this healer requires a different set to function well. the Justice set that is primarily used for DPS. This requires 3 diamonds from the Gravatar Rampage and 3 other materials at 2 apiece from the other rampages. They use this gear because of the offense bonus it grants at having 3 pieces, which increases the bonus healing. Depending on how well you play depends on how well you will survive if you play this type of healer. The final primary gear set a healer can use is Distinguished. It is for a more defensive healer and is the best for survival. In my case, I have a defensive healer. Don't take this the wrong way, as I don't trust others not to kill me in the middle of a run. If you use this gear, you will not get a very high score, but you will be tough to kill due to the defensive bonuses it gives. I recommend this if you need to carry content such as IDO, TT, TA, and Cosmics. However, I am giving you this summary to do this in a way that works well for you. The only active benefits are at 3 pieces of the same set. Although I put the speed helmet in the image, if the efficiency works better for you, please use that. I prefer to have more cooldown reduction to use the ultimate power of Transcendence faster, just in case I need to revive a mass of players, but that is just my preference. I just recommend having cooldown reduction in your gear. To finish this video, I would like to discuss the healer secondary. The recommended healer secondary is the Cosmic Rage set, with the secondary offense being Cosmic Presence. This is important for all healers. The Cosmic Wraith secondaries would only be good if your primary stat was Presence in the exact order of Presence/Dexterity/Constitution. If this works for you, then that would be great. All I can say about the role is that it is fun for me to play. Same as the DPS and tank. I greatly appreciate your views and attention. If you want to help me, please subscribe to my channel, and I will create more content like this. One more thing. Please share these videos with players who want to learn more about the roles and how to play better. It doesn't matter if they are new, returning, or thematic. I am doing this to help all the players of the game. Take care of yourselves. In the description, I will leave all the image links. Bye.